Hey guys, it's Tara and I'm coming to you from Lavina in Bali, Indonesia. I'm out here, it is a hot day, having some watermelon. It's nothing better than watermelon when it's this hot. The watermelon is actually really good in Indonesia, which I wasn't expecting. In this video, I want to talk to you about why I've decided to do some experimenting with cooked food in my diet and whether I am no longer a raw foodist. Okay, so you guys know I love raw food, like really love raw food, and I love living a raw food lifestyle. It's absolutely 100% the lifestyle for me, even though I know it doesn't work for everybody else. But I know that my body responds so well to eating raw food that usually the thought of eating cooked food doesn't appeal to me at all. But within the last couple of weeks here in Bali, Indonesia, I've started adding some cooked food into my diet, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's not because I've been craving potatoes secretly for years or because my raw food diet is deficient in any way, but here's the reason. My passion and my purpose in life is helping the oceans with Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. You guys have seen in some of my videos that I've gone on campaign. There's also many other campaigns that I participated in with Sea Shepherd that I haven't filmed from before my YouTubing days. This year I had planned to go to the Faroe Islands with Sea Shepherd, but it looks like the campaign just isn't happening. So I decided that I was going to start volunteering on the ships again with Sea Shepherd, which I have done in the past, and I have made videos about my experience doing that. So I'm going to start with a little story. When I went to the Bob Barker ship in Sydney, Australia in 2012, my goal was to live 100% raw on the ship. I was convinced that it could be done. And I tried my hardest. I really did. I bought lots of produce, even though we were working really long days, really long hours, and I barely had any time to prepare meals because the meals are prepared for you on the ship by the cook. I really tried to make it work. But I was so stressed about eating raw on the ship and really making it work, succeeding with a 100% raw diet, and I was so focused on that. And I got so stressed about my food intake that I literally went 40 days without having a bowel movement. I know that's probably too much information for some of you, but my point is that I was sick, like really sick. I was ill. When I finally got off the ship, I spent 10 days vomiting every day and having diarrhea every day. I was really sick, and I felt so weak that I couldn't get out of bed. And this was all because of stress about my diet and trying to remain 100% raw while I was on the ship. Now, I'm not saying that it's impossible to live a raw food lifestyle when you're on a ship, any kind of ship. I know people who've done it on cruise ships before, but this time I'm realizing that if I want to volunteer on the Sea Shepherd ship and actually go on campaign, so where I may be at sea for months at a time, I may not be able to eat 100% raw. And I wanted to make sure that if I was going to go to the ship and I had to eat cooked food, I wasn't going to get sick. And I've done a little experimenting in the past with cooked food, and it just hasn't made me feel my best. So here they are, the results of my cooked food experiment over the last couple of weeks. First, I'm going to tell you the cooked foods I have tried over the last couple of weeks, and then I'll get on to how my body actually reacted to those foods. So the foods I've tried in no particular order are steamed vegetables, roasted vegetables, rice, beans, soybeans and soy milk, and tofu and tempeh. Okay, so what worked? Steamed and roasted vegetables tend to be okay for my body. I'm able to digest them fairly okay. I don't feel too bad after eating them. Rice was also another good one. I haven't really tried any other grains, but the foods that absolutely did not work for me was beans. Actually, tofu and tempeh were fine in my body, but the moment I had beans, my skin started breaking out like crazy and I just felt so sick. I had these shooting pains in my stomach, and I decided right then I'm not doing any other experimenting with beans ever again, besides the fact that I really don't like the taste of them. That's actually been the hardest part about this experiment, is that I don't really actually like cooked food. And it's proven to me that I am a raw foodie through and through, and it's not a purity thing or that I have to be attached to any labels. Obviously, I've been experimenting so that I can make this volunteer work that I do work, but I much prefer the way I feel eating raw food, and I actually much prefer the taste of raw food as well. But were there any foods that I actually enjoyed eating cooked? There were a few that I actually liked the taste of, so it's not all bad, and I know I'm going to be able to survive on the Sea Shepherd ship if I do have to eat cooked food. The first one was pumpkin, steamed pumpkin. I've never really tried pumpkin before, and I wasn't really expecting to like it, but I do enjoy the taste. The other one is tofu. I actually really enjoy tofu as well, and plain steamed vegetables. What's been clear to me the past couple of weeks is that I don't want to be eating cooked food regularly. It just doesn't work for my body. And I know that there's some people who've said that they've gone from a raw food lifestyle to eating cooked food and feel no difference. That is not me, let me tell you. I definitely feel a difference in my body. But the positive thing about cooked food is that it does allow me to volunteer with Sea Shepherd on the ships, eating cooked vegan food. That is the one positive thing. There are some negatives that I've experienced though as well. Not that I want to focus on the negatives or demonize cooked food. I understand that the vast majority of humans on this planet eat cooked food, but I also want to share my experiences with you just in case you might be wondering what it's like to be a raw foodist and try to eat cooked food now and again. So the first negative thing I experienced is low energy. The minute I eat the food, I basically want to go straight to sleep. The second negative thing I noticed was that it takes forever to digest. Oh my God, I don't understand how people who eat cooked food are willing to feel bloated all of the time while their food is digesting. I mean, maybe some people don't feel that way, but that was how it was for me. As soon as I ate the cooked food, I felt bloated for hours and hours. It just didn't digest. It set like a big heavy lump in my stomach. That is not how I want to feel the vast majority of the time. I'll put up with it for Sea Shepherd because I love the work I can do with Sea Shepherd on the boats, but it's just not a nice feeling. And the third thing I noticed that is a bit of a negative is that I wake up with bags under my eyes, like under-eye dark circles and lines, which I never have when I eat raw food. And it's so quick, my body is so quick to react to the food that I eat, and I can see it in the water retention or in my face or in my skin quality. And it's so evident to me that my body is made for raw foods. So this experiment has been a little tough, and I've actually found it harder to eat cooked foods than it is for me to eat raw foods, which I know is the opposite problem that most people usually have. So that's it. That is why I have started to include cooked food into my lifestyle, into my diet. It's not optimal. I can feel it in my body that it's not optimal, but for me, it is worth it for the work that I want to do. And sometimes I feel like you have to make a compromise or a sacrifice, and that's what I'm doing in this particular case. I know some people may be watching this video and thinking, what are you talking about? Food is food. As long as it's vegan, that's awesome. And to a certain degree, I absolutely agree with that. I think all vegan food is great, but I also think that some of us thrive on different forms of a vegan diet. For me, that's simply raw food. If you have any more questions that I haven't answered in this video about my cooked food experiment, post them in the comments below. I'm happy to share this journey with you guys. You know I like to be completely transparent, so I will share the good, the bad, and the ugly with you guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it for any reason, I guess give it a thumbs down. But let me know what you think about this experiment in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.